Hi.
Hi.
I'm Nick.
I'm Jill.
And we're HipStrings. Welcome to day 3 of the 2023 Base12 Spinalong. We are once again going through me doing random, you doing an order. So
Yep.
Do we want to get right into it?
Yeah.
All right.
So day 3, right?
I died. Yes.
Number 3.
Oh, where'd my die go? I can't figure out what I rolled.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. I've got another die. That's cool. Hopefully it's not underneath my wheel. All right. Incidentally, oh, it's under the chair. Incidentally, the first day I spun was day 3. So you've actually seen this before. Why don't you actually talk about it this time?
So this is rose gold. This is a HipStrings signature blend. It's 75% merino wool, 25% mulberry silk. I will say that this blend is being discontinued. So if you like it, grab it while it's still in the shop. So
that's a terrible thing to do. You're teasing them.
I am. But mulberry silk gotten really expensive.
Yeah.
And
You're not gonna split your fiber this time?
No, I'm gonna try it my usual way.
Because I split mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your usual way?
Just spin as it comes.
Straight from the tip?
Straight from the tip.
Okay. Hey, you started before. Oh my God. Ah!
I've got to make adjustments. So it'll be fine.
It's cool.
Yeah, mulberry silk's gotten really expensive. So like, the price for the mulberry silk, the merino mulberry silk blends, like it's like $20 for 4 ounces now. The retail.
Oh wow.
So I'm just switching over to more merino Shetland Tussa silk mulberry silk, which I think is a nicer blend to spin. And the mill I use has expanded their color palette for the dyed Shetland. So
excellent. Well, what was the this was the rose gold you said?
Yes,
right?
This is rose gold.
And does this have any relation to cheetah?
No. The signature blends don't have any relation.
Okay.
Shipped.
So as we're mixing in a couple of these signature blends, some of them, all the signature blends don't have any relationship to cheetah.
Right.
But they got a relationship to HipStrings, so
right.
That's what you're here for. By the way, Paula says hello, or hola, actually.
Hola.
And good night. Buenas noches. Jean says, is number 3 worth trying to spin from the fold? I'm new at that technique, so maybe not a good plan with this fiber.
You could spin it from the fold if you wanted to keep the colors more separated. Most of my signature blends are actually meant to be more blended as you spin. There's a few that are better from the fold, like Lollipop Swirl. Needs like the colors to be a little bit more distinct.
But there's also the element of when you have mixed staple lengths, like silk with whatever else.
Yeah.
It is a good idea to spin from the fold to basically fold the silk in half and match the staple lengths.
Or if you're combining combed fiber with carded fiber, spinning from the fold can introduce more air, and you can get a more similar grist.
But in this case, does this silk I know you do a lot of things with your signature blends where you make it so the silk is not quite as needing of aggressive folding.
Right. This is pretty well blended, so it doesn't. I don't think it needs it. Like you could have other cases where you don't blend the silk in as much, and then it can cause more problems. You'll spin just silk by itself, because especially mulberry silk likes to be spun by itself. It's a very slick fiber with a very smooth surface texture, and so it doesn't grip onto other fibers. And so that's why often mulberry silk will like go and do its own thing when you're spinning.
It'll come out as
just
its own chunk of silk, which is okay and has an effect, and sometimes is intentional.
But not always what you want. So that's why I often blend Tussa silk with mulberry silk, because the Tussa silk likes to play well with others, and it's got a rougher surface texture, but it'll actually grab onto both the mulberry silk and the wool and kind of make it easier to draft them all together.
Does this have both?
This does not.
Okay.
So I'm moving to more blends that combine tussa silk and mulberry silk.
It's like a binder.
Yes.
And so Jean says, I do like the blend idea, thank you. And Hollis says that they spun this from the fold. And Jean also says, this is a wonderfully slick silk.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's lots of different types of silk, right?
Yes, there are.
I think we've talked about this before, but why don't we go ahead and cover that again?
Okay.
As we're talking about
Well, the
it.
two main categories are mulberry silk and tussa silk. Mulberry silk is only produced by Bombyx mori, which is a particular moth or silkworm that eats the leaves of the mulberry plant exclusively. And so it spins a cocoon that is a single continuous filament. And it is very shiny because it is very smooth. Tussa silk can be from a number of different moths. And so they're also known as wild silks. Their cocoons are not a continuous filament. They're duller in color. They actually can come in different colors. And so, like, if you see Erie silk, Erie is a type of wild silk or tussa. Peduncle is a specific wild silk that the fiber is just the a particular part of the cocoon. And those are really cool because they come in like these gray greens and
Oh, really?
really rich colors. There's
Naturally.
Erie silk naturally. Yeah, there's Erie silk that naturally looks gold.
Oh, wow. But then you can also, when people are talking about sari silk.
Sari silk is a recycled fiber.
Yeah.
So saris, I'm trying to remember if saris are woven with one particular type of silk. But sari silk is leftover bits from sari production, so traditional Indian clothing. And so it's basically excess cloth and odds and ends and salvages that are chopped up and repurposed.
And that tends to, you use it a lot for getting like a tweedy
It's
effect.
texture and tweed because it is a very short fiber. It will form neps.
And by the way, Amy rolled a 12. So I'm spinning number 10 or 10.
Yeah.
Excellent conversion there. And she even dug out her diz today. And then we've got a hello from Stephanie. Hello. Donna says they rolled a 7. A very lustrous. Oh, we're going to just ignore what they're saying. Just keep it a little secret. Reminds them of Slate. Spinning lovely. Excellent. And Enid asks, how are the tussa silk harvested / collected?
So most of the time for both mulberry silk and tussa silk, the cocoons are just tossed into boiling water, which kills the silkworm inside and breaks down, I think it's sericin, which is kind of the glue that holds the cocoons together. And then you reel off the silk. There are tussa silks that are harvested by allowing the worm to come out, to chew
moth.
its way out of the cocoon. Yeah, it would be the moth. To chew its way out the cocoon, which shortens the fibers. That's known as piece silk. So that is a form of silk that does not involve the death of the silkworm.
But that's fascinating because one of the things that makes silk so long staple is the fact that it is one continuous thread.
Right. So that's why in mulberry so they'll keep some cocoons from each thing to allow them to emerge and not use the fibers from that cocoon to start the next generation. But you don't need many adult moths to make a lot of silkworm.
Baby moths.
Of baby moths.
Yeah.
So. And moths don't have.
When are we going to start spinning spider silk? I remember at
They
one
do
point.
it industrially.
Do they?
Yeah.
I remember at some point in time.
Well,
there was
they have genetically modified goats that express
right.
spider silk
in their milk.
In their
right?
milk.
Yeah.
So they milk the goats, and then they can extract the spider silk from the goat milk.
All right. That's like. That's the new. Oh, so you know what? So for in Goat Simulator, where they have the spider goat.
Yeah,
mod, that's absolutely
why.
a real thing.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ina says, so tuss is also cultivated. The term wild silk makes it sound like it's not cultivated by people.
Yeah, so tussa silk is, this. People are not going out into the wild and finding tussa silk cocoons.
But it's more the fact that the worms are allowed to basically eat wild things, and it's not specifically just eating.
No,
mulberry.
not wild things. They eat different foods. There's one.
Yeah.
There's one particular tussa silk they eat oak leaves. I think that might be the Erie.
Is that dependent on the type of worm that it is?
Yeah. So there's different species, and
Yeah.
they eat a whole bunch of different stuff.
Species. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Stephanie asks, "Are we living in some kind of fever dream sci-fi world now?"
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that in the past at least 3 years, then boy, have we got some dystopian science fiction to show you, because the parallels between the Hunger Games and the world we live in today is just eerie to begin with. And let's not go into things like Ender's Game.
One of our kids is very much into dystopian fiction.
Gab, we keep on trying to share with them different sci-fi because we're like, oh, they love sci-fi. And they're like, no, I only like dystopian sci-fi.
That could realistically happen in the next 50 years.
Yeah. And speaking of sci-fi fever dream, I do have a plan for one of the future podcast days to just demonstrate exactly how much of a sci-fi fever dream we live in today. But we'll go into that later. I will make a note, by the way, speaking of Gab, that Jill is not going to be on the podcast for the next 2 days. Jill is going on...
I'm going out into the wilderness.
Going out into the wilderness to plan some future events.
Yeah.
And more things for HipStrings and generally recover.
Some quiet time so that I can plan.
But I will have Gab as my assistant. So we still haven't decided if Gab's going to spin or knit or crochet. I think we shut down sewing during the during the show, but Gab is well versed in many of the fiber arts. So
day 3 blend is rose gold, which is a HipString signature blend. It's 75% merino wool and 25% mulberry silk.
And as you were saying, if you like it, then
grab it, because it's not long for this world.
At least in this form.
Yeah.
Which actually that could bring up the bats that you've been making.
Yes. Talking about things that are not long for this world. In the center, there is the December bat of the month. If you aren't aware, I do a different bat every month that is inspired by a previous discontinued blend. So this is Moon on Their Wings. It is a super luxurious, super smooth bat and a gradient bat if you're into that kind of thing.
If you're into that sort of thing.
It's got super fine merino, lots of mulberry silk, some tussa silk, and some baby camel in there.
That's why it was so soft.
Yes,
I was
very
playing
soft.
around with it to put it up there, and it was just like attaching to my hand hairs.
I don't think I've put up the bats. What signature blends I'm going to do next year. That's a plan for this weekend. I have the list, but I need to go and dig out the original signature blend photos so that you can get an idea of where they're going to come from.
But this has been a pretty
So
exciting,
this is the
fun
second full
project
year
for you, right?
of Bat of the Month, yeah. And I've always got plenty of discontinued signature blends to keep on fueling the Bat of the Month Club. So I'm also looking into setting it up as a subscription where it'll charge you automatically every month instead of having to pay a lump sum, because that'll work out better for you and it'll work out better for me. But they're also always available every month as a pre-order, and I ship them out in about 2 weeks.
We have a Google Home that is showing photos from our library, and just literally just before we sat down, it showed off the very first show that Jill had a booth at, which was Indie Knit and Spin, when it was in this tiny school on the second floor.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realized that even back then Jill had
10
some
years
bats. 10 years ago. Has it been exactly 10 years for HipStrings?
Yeah.
So this was
10th anniversary in May.
Why did we not make some big deal about the 10th anniversary
Because we were
Base
preparing
12?
for Maryland Sheep and Wool.
But this is the 10th anniversary Base 12. Even though it's not the 10th time we've done Base 12. I guess that's really confusing.
Yeah, that's confusing, Nick.
Okay. Never mind. I'll not be confusing. But 10 years of HipStrings.
Yep.
Which is pretty damn amazing. And we're still doing everything that we started with, and then some.
I think so.
So anything that we've stopped making?
Z-looms.
Yeah.
Those are on hiatus. Fleece bags.
Well, fleece bags, yeah, those are kind of on hiatus.
They're on hiatus. I haven't had them in the shop for 2 years now.
But we do have the stickers for what the fleece bags were.
But those aren't available.
They are.
Oh, yes. Your Redbubble.
Yeah, if you go to Redbubble, I can put a link if people are interested. There, I have a little shop of stickers that includes the sticker or the design that I made for warning, contains fleece, unauthorized entry may result in loss of limb. And then the much requested mod of that, where unauthorized entry may result in loss of lamb. There is the warning contains fleece is a different one, and it has
the
biohazard sheep on it. And then I have a couple of other moderately well. There's the spinning T-Rex T-shirt and sticker and button and everything. And then some completely unrelated ones, like
You had me at Elote.
You had me at Elote, which
I'm having to pay attention to my drafting a lot more tonight because I didn't divide it up.
Yeah, you're also spinning a lot thinner than you have been.
No.
No?
No.
I don't know. It looks like maybe you should use your control card. Haha, I got her to stop.
No, I'm still at 18 wraps per inch.
Okay. I checked myself too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still at what I measured at being, 22 or 24, which what you measured as being 18. But yeah, what were we talking about? So other advents. Oh, I forgot to open up my 12 days of jam.
No, we'll do that for the 12 days between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
That's a traditional 12 days.
Okay. We got from Costco a 12 days of jam, and these adorable little jam jars.
I think I bought it mostly for the jam jars.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to have to figure out what am I going to make that we can put the jam on. Because jam doesn't go great on sourdough. I've been wanting to learn how to make
You need
English
to learn
muffins.
to make crackers.
Jam doesn't go great on crackers either, though.
Oh, some of those jams will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're fancy jams.
Fancy jams.
Very fancy jams.
By the way, Amy says, did we ever see the glamour shots of the Skelly T-Rex at this year's IKS? I don't know. I was wearing a T-Rex outfit, as I am known to do, and lounging around on a giant swing, getting some glamour shots.
Oh yeah, we have not shown those off.
I need to get those photos from Dave,
Yeah.
12-foot Dave. Which, speaking of which, I haven't seen him on the chat. Robert says jam goes great on sourdough.
See?
I'll have to try. I feel like with sourdough, I just want it with the salty butter. Get the nice sour flavor. I like my sourdough really sour, so like that might be it. But maybe if I go with a little bit less sour, where the kids will actually eat it, then it'll go well with the jam. Donna says marmalade goes great on sourdough also, and Ashley also agrees. I guess I'm just wrong. All right, I am definitely gonna just make sourdough then. I guess I'll have to make some tomorrow. Which I know is way too early for when you said we were gonna have the jam, but we've got jam in the fridge, so I'll try it out there.
Yes.
But I had also remembered that I'm doing the Lego Star Wars Advent calendar with Christopher. And today we had a really weird one. I couldn't tell who the character was. I got a minifig, and I couldn't tell who the character was by looking at the picture because it was this really angry-looking character.
Yeah.
And they had
that's
a
what
gun
you
in
were
one
discussing.
hand and a cookie in the other. And I'm like, this is super weird. And I was thinking, maybe it's that character from Andor that really liked the Imperial crackers or something, and making some reference to that. No, I actually pull out the minifig, and it's Leia from Andor, where she was giving the cookie to Wicket, the Ewok.
Yeah.
To try and get on his good side. But like, it was super weird that the drawing of the minifig had Leia in this like really angry pose with a gun pointing out and a cookie at the side. Let's see. So Robert says, especially sourdough English muffins. Now, there's something I need to learn because I have not made English muffins. I'd love to make English muffins, and I've got sourdough starter. So this sounds like a project for this weekend.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to look into that. And Robert, if you've got a recipe you recommend,
It's always
by all means,
exciting
send it our way.
when I go away and leave Nick to his own devices.
Stephanie
It is
says,
usually followed by a couple hours later, him telling me what he's been up to, and I go and I share the list with the people I am with, and we all go, "Oh my God!" Like, how did he get that much done? Like, he's supposed to be taking a break.
I'm an overachiever. What can I say?
I once left for a couple of days and came back, and our bathroom was painted. And our bathroom is not small and has like a cathedral ceiling.
Yeah, that was fun. Especially when I accidentally knocked the track lighting. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm okay. I knocked the track lighting and it had fallen down onto my head, and I was holding it up at the top of the ladder, and the kids were asleep, and it's not like I could call you to help me.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out how to get it just barely latched back on so that I could go down, get a drill it back into place, etc. Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, Stephanie says y'all are going to need to make some more serious donuts for all the jam. That's a good use.
I make donuts. That would be it. And Abel Scavers.
Abel Scavers would be another good use for all the jam. That is a good point. And the kids will always eat some Abel Scavers. I was trying to convince...
This does not go well with my trying to avoid gluten.
You can't bake. I mean,
can you make
I guess
me
you
some
can
gluten-free
bake.
crackers?
I can make you some gluten-free crackers.
Okay.
And then you can chase it with some figgy pudding. Let's see.
People exclaiming about how I'm being fast.
Oh, Kayla said that Yvonne made a sticker of the picture. That's right. I did get a picture from Kayla of me and the T-Rex, so I'll have to put that on the Discord at least.
Okay.
And I'll put it on the I'll put it on my Instagram, my InstaSpace. I'll put it on the Discord, which, by the way, you guys may
What
notice.
is your InstaSpace?
It is Mr. HipStrings. And I don't remember if there's an underscore or if
There
it's,
isn't.
Okay, it's just Mr. HipStrings, no underscore, no separation. It's Mr. HipStrings. And we also have the Discord invite link in the description for this video. So, and I got to do remember to subscribe and hit that like button and ding that bell. And there's a certain order I'm supposed to say those things in, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I learned today that apparently Instagram doesn't just do square photos anymore.
Oh, really?
Apparently they made a change so that now you do 4x5 is the max size.
Oh.
And that's the size you should do because it then takes up the entire screen and people are more likely to stay on your post.
Okay.
And not be distracted by what's coming next.
And we learned, this is really funny.
So,
we learned about the fact, Jill was helping me study for an interview with Meta. And spoiler alert, I didn't get it. But in the process, we were thinking about what sort of things should they do and what sort of things should they modify. And we're like, Instagram should be available on the web. And what would we do if it was available on the web? And sure enough, we look at it and Instagram is now available on the web. And this was like during the summer. And a lot of people I know still don't know that. You can just go to Instagram.com on your computer.
Because I can remember wanting to upload stuff to Instagram from my computer and not being able to do it. I can remember when Instagram was mobile only.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I feel like I might be crazy.
You still can't use it on an iPad. It still uses the phone.
Yes, it does like the X2. They haven't made a native version of Instagram.
Right. So iPad. I don't know why you did it on.
Apparently, it's not. There's not enough people using Instagram on their iPad.
Yeah, I don't know. We've missed a couple of chats here. So Ina asks, how do you plan to ply your current spin?
So I'm gonna chain ply.
I think I like my barber pulling, so I'm gonna do what I've been doing, and once I get past day 6, I'll switch to another bobbin, and then I'm gonna ply a 2-ply. Although I guess we're early enough, I could split it up into a 3-ply.
You could.
That would be really wacky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna stay with 2-ply.
Okay.
Robert says he uses the King Arthur recipe. Kind of. You're gonna have to explain how that kind of thing works there.
I've heard good things about the King Arthur recipes in general.
Yeah, they are. And then the surprise about Eek, I'm slower. From Jean. Ashley saying Jill's superpower is spinning. And Amy asked, where's the Discord link? Okay, so the invite to the Discord link is actually in the description of the video. So if you, it's with the name of the video that you're watching right now, and you click, there's probably going to be an option to click more. There will be a link in there.
Somebody's saying they're having trouble. Let me see if I need to let people in.
I don't think you need to. I posted a link. And maybe the, see, somebody just joined. Was that just now?
Yeah.
Okay. Amy found it. Let's see. Robert's sort of method of the King Arthur recipe is by following by memory. So there's a little bit of
I do that.
Error on those measurement bars.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that with colorways. I try not to.
Nice.
Prose, though. Prose is burned into my brain.
Jam says, LOL, not enough people because you can't access it. And I don't know what that's in reference to. I was worried that it was in reference to the Discord, but...
I'm wondering if it's about Instagram on iPad.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good. You're the one with the connections all the time. Okay, I'm almost done. I swear to God.
It's what my brain
Keep
does.
stalling. Incidentally, I am drinking yet another of my wonderful
pumpkin pie
seltzer waters.
I have a gingerbread cookie stout from Trogs,
Which is fantastic.
which is really good. So how thin do you spin to be so quick? So I'm spinning at about 18 wraps per inch. Which is actually, it is a bit thicker than I usually spin. I usually spin somewhere, I'm trying to think. I usually spin more like where Nick is, which is about 22, or where Nick says he is. Depending on the fiber, my 3-ply is usually a DK or worsted weight. I have a lot more control these days, though. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's really fascinating is being able to control how thick or thin you spin. Right now I'm just going with my natural spin, but you've been practicing a lot on trying to get thick or thin when you want to and where you want to.
I don't have as much control because the take-up on this is not as adjustable as I would like with this setup, but I could spin thinner if I wanted to, but with how strong the take-up is, it makes me nervous.
So what do you call a paper airplane that can't fly?
I don't know.
Stationary. So, do you have any parting words for everyone before they miss you for 2 days? Oh, Jem has a bit of info here. So pavlova is a New Zealand invention. Some contention though say the Aussies invented it, or the Aussies say they invented it. Actually, yeah, I got that wrong. The Russian part is actually, it was named after a Russian skater.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. And Jem, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But I remember there was a Russian element to it. But yeah, there's a lot of also discussion on exactly where it's invented. I mean, it's all over the world now. I think the only place it hasn't touched is Africa. But
Well, Gab did a report on ice cream, and apparently ice cream is originally from China.
really,
But it was made with like buffalo milk and flour
the flour is
and
interesting.
camphor.
Okay.
So like camphor is like the stuff you put on your chest to
Ballerina, thank you. Not skater.
relieve like congestion.
Yeah.
So
Was ice cream a medicinal thing?
maybe,
I'll have to ask Gab.
but it was.
We can ask
frozen.
Gab tomorrow.
You
Remind
can
me of
ask
that.
Gab about ice cream tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing a whole bunch of research on ice cream because they weren't allowed to do research on opium.
These are the fun conversations we have with our kids that you will get to have part of tomorrow.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us. This was even fast for me today. I was pushed
Yeah.
along. We didn't have as long of an introduction.
You didn't stop to explain things.
Yeah. But thank you for joining us. I will see you tomorrow.
I'll see you on
Sunday.
Sunday. I
You
should be home by
back
Sunday.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night.
Night.